Kadosh Boker Or Bekiim Bahalacha 5 day 100. We are Siman Mem Gimel, taking care of Tefilin when you go into a restroom. This is page 271, Halacha Daled. Nisha Shachach, somebody that forgot and he started doing his tzracha. Be'od shayu Tefilin minochot alav. So imagine, he starts doing his necessities and then he realizes he's got his Tefilin on them. So Yaniach Yado Alayam ad sheigmor amud rishon. So what he has to do is he's going to basically put his hand to cover the Tefilin shalosh until he's able to interrupt. He goes outside of the Bekiim, take them off, and then he goes back inside. The and the same halacha would apply if he went and he was urinating in Bekiim kavua, and again Tefilin b'rosho. Shigmor silon rishon, he finishes, and then what finishes like the first, whatever you want to call it exactly, the first until he's able to interrupt, right? And then what he does is he goes outside, and then he comes, takes off the Tefilin, and then he comes back inside the washroom. Misha chalatz Tefilin, yeah, somebody that takes off his Tefilav. Mechamat sheyat tzrich l'kines b'beit hakisei, but he had to go to the washroom. Afilu hayad ato lachzor l'nichan techef umiyad, even though he wants to put it on immediately again. When he goes outside, he has to make a bracha again. Tzrich lachzor levarech l'nachatam. Fa'afilu hayad beit hakisei karov elav, even if it's very close to him. Tzrich levarech, he has to make a bracha on the Tefilin. And it's brought down in Siman Kafei halacha samech bet. So this we already learned many times. Tefilin, according to everybody, you have to make a bracha. Talit, exactly. There's no question of time. Even if for 2 minutes, you went into the washroom, but gamarnu, that's it, right? Which one? No, no kashu. Yeah, no. Yeah, mutar le'echoz biyado kli sheyesh bo meraglaim. So you're allowed to come and you're going to hold in your hand the utensil that has meraglaim. So, for example, let's say they did bedikat chetin. So they have the little tiny, whatever you want to call it, the flask or whatever. Right, this little tiny tube. Right, he's allowed to hold it. There's no isur. You're not allowed to do your necessities, but you're allowed to hold it right inside of this tube without any problem. Here it says in 383, a doctor can pick up a bedpan, right, used for urinating even while he's wearing tefillin. And he says this is brought down in the Rashba, right? Again, because at the end of the day, it's only the yisud of actually doing something disrespectful. Okay? The next halacha says, right, what about Tehillim Katan? Right, there's halacha zayin. Tehillim Katan, shenitpas al yidei mechonot dfus o tzilum. So nowadays, you've got a whole bunch of Tehillims, right, or anything which is basically going to be printed. So mutar lanicho bekiso, you could put it in your pocket, or bechiko mechuseh, ulikanes bo lebet hakiseh, afilu l'chila, you could go even lechatchila. Hamachmir b'zeh tavo lo bracha. But he says, machmir tavo lo bracha. Vehu adin, the same halacha would apply. Sheyesh lakem mechtavim tuvim k'tav yad, if it's written in k'tav yad, right? But since it's written in k'tav agol and it's not k'tav ashuri, meaning it's not the way that it's written in the Sefer Torah, so therefore you could be mekel. So one more time, Tehillim book you have in your pocket. Technically, meikar adin, you're allowed to walk into the washroom. Yeah, he says machmir tavo lo bracha. V'chem mutar להיכנס לבית הכיסא עם שטרות כסף שיש בהם קטעים מהמגילות הגנוזות בספר ישעיה. Right? He says, if it's going to be in your wallet or in your pocket, right? Right? That we are, when God we trust. So that there's no problem whatsoever. Okay? Which one? No.
This is from
the Yalkut Yosef in Hebrew, but this is not even Yalkut Yosef. This is based upon Rosh Hashanah. This is nowadays a contemporary. This is not something once upon a time. Remember, this is not Shulchan Aruch, right? He quoted Yabia Omer, Halacha Brura, that's Rav David Yosef, Yabia Omer, and Rosh Hashanah Arbach. So he's quoting all the people of today.
You're allowed to go to your phone?
Yes.
No problem.
No problem. Okay. Halacha Chet. Which one? No, we're not going to read it. It's on the phone.
The phone has an application. Like an application with the link, you can enter the bathroom. The thing is, if you drop your phone, you
and even if the app doesn't.
No.
Ole.
Even if the app is open, in theory, you can do it. Because it's...
Yeah. There's nothing on the phone is anything. Chole sheniskak lekateter. Yeah, we're talking about now if you have a catheter, right? There's a chole, he's got a catheter. Now that during this time, דרכו נוטפים רגליים תוך שקית או כלי זכוכית, מותר לו לקרוא קריאת שמע ולהתפלל ולברך, וכן ללבוש טלית ותפילין ולהתפלל עמהם, ובלבד שיהיו בגדיו העליונים נקיים, Yesham reach rak klal, as long as there's not going to be a bad smell. Okay, the last halacha for the day, he says, מי ששוכב בבית חולים למחלות, right, מדבקו לא עלינו, הוא מבקש שיביאו לו תפילין, ועל פי החוק, כל הדברים שמשתמשים בהם בעת החולי, שורפים אותם, כשהחולה עוזב את הבית החולים. יש להשתדל לשכנעם שיסתפקו בקברות התפילין ולא בשרפתם. You have to try to convince them that they have to bury the tefillin, but that they don't actually burn it. ואם אי אפשר now, if it's going to be impossible, so he says, יש אומרים, some people say, שמותר למצוא לו תפילין בשביל לקיים את המצב שגורם לידי זה לשחר יכספו את התפילין, ויש חולקים, זה מחלוקת. Why? מצד אחד, you want him to be מקיים את המצווה. מצד שני, it doesn't work now. So what are you going to do? So he comes and he says, so there's a מחלוקת. ולדינה, אם יש לחולה צער רב, מכך שאינו מניח תפילין, יש חשש שצער זה יגרום לדרדר במצבו, it's going to cause him to even become worse, so יש להקל, you could be מקל להביא לו את התפילין, אף שידוע שיספו את התפילין, even though it's known that they're going to burn the תפילין, ואם הוא גורם שהשרפה תהיה על ידי גוי, so then you could be מקל שלא במקום סכנה, כדי שלא יבלטל מצוות עשה של תפילין. At the end of the day, he's being מקיים המצווה of תפילין. So since he's going to be מקיים this מצווה, so that's going to be a different halacha.